Have you ever been so sure of yourself that you forgot to ask for help? This is the story of a mountain climber and a lesson in real faith. There was once a man who loved climbing mountains. He had climbed many before. So when he chose a new, very difficult mountain to conquer, he didn't think twice. He was so confident in his skills that he didn't even bother to check the weather, make a plan, or ask for guidance. He believed he could do it on his own. On the day of the climb, he packed his gear and began his journey upward. The morning was beautiful. The sky was clear, the mountain air was fresh, and everything seemed perfect. By afternoon, he had reached halfway up the mountain. He smiled and thanked God. "Thank you for this beautiful view," he whispered. "Thank you for my life." It was a peaceful moment, a moment of gratitude. He stopped to rest, ate some food, and looked down at the breathtaking view. He closed his eyes and whispered his thanks once more. It was a moment of stillness, but time passed quickly. The sun began to set, and dark clouds rolled in. The wise decision would have been to stop and rest for the night. But the man was too determined. He believed that his strength and his faith would carry him to the top. So he kept going, even though he couldn't see much ahead. The mountain path became dangerous, covered in thick fog and surrounded by darkness. He lost his sense of direction. He didn't know if he was going up, down, or sideways. Still he climbed. He told himself that God was watching over him. He trusted that he would be protected. The night grew colder. His body began to shiver, but he moved forward by instinct. Then suddenly, as he reached out to grab a rocky ledge, his foot slipped. He lost his grip and fell. The wind roared past him as he dropped fast through the air. In those terrifying moments, his life flashed before his eyes. He remembered everything: his childhood, his dreams, his mistakes, and his joys. Just when he thought it was over, the rope tied around his waist pulled him tight. It stopped his fall. He was hanging in the air, completely alone in the dark, with nothing to see and nowhere to go. His heart pounded. His body was frozen. The only thing keeping him alive was the rope. In fear, he shouted, "Help me, God!" To his surprise, a calm and powerful voice came from the sky. It asked, "What do you want me to do?" The man cried, "Please, save me!" The voice said, "Do you really believe I can save you?" The man replied, "Yes, I believe with all my heart." Then the voice asked, "Will you do exactly what I tell you to do?" The man quickly answered, "Yes, anything." The voice said, "Then cut the rope tied to your waist." There was complete silence. The man couldn't believe what he had just heard. Cut the rope, but that rope was the only thing keeping him from falling into the darkness. How could he let go? His fear took over. He held on to the rope even tighter. He wept quietly. The cold surrounded him. The darkness became heavier. He waited, but the voice spoke no more. The next morning, the rescue team found the man's body. He had frozen to death during the night. His hands were still tightly gripping the rope. He was hanging just 3 feet above the ground. He could have lived if only he had trusted. He believed in God with his words, but not with his actions. Do you truly trust your faith, or are you still clinging to your fear? We say we believe in God, but when the time comes to act on that belief, fear takes over. The man trusted God with his words, but not with his heart. He could have been saved, but he chose to hold on to what he thought was safe. Sometimes we're holding on to something we believe is saving us, but it might actually be the very thing stopping us from being free. True faith means trusting God even when we cannot see the whole picture. Without Him, our view is limited. but with Him, we can see beyond our fear. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share,